Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is a psychiatric self-therapeutic multimedia project to solve the problems, challenges, and obstacles in our lives, as well as a self-improvement process to reach the high goals and ambitions that we have set for ourselves as well as those around us. If you'd like a brief introduction, a brief summary as to how we break down the Ahn Rho Project into domains of life, sub-series, analogies, and so on and so forth, you can check that out on the previous live streams for the past 3.5 years. Strive to January 2021 and beyond for more updated versions, including the copyright-free music, live stream schedule, and how we divvy the stream into 11 segments across 3 phases in a 15-minute live stream that won't take too much of your time. That being said, second segment, of course, as usual, first of 2 points is this is going to be a solve 8.0 override, system override version 8.0, standing for a rule to break all other rules, a system principle to break all other, to free myself from the system and just be purely practical and get as much done as I possibly can. Second thing, excuse me, I just had a meal, is that of course if you want to skip the introduction, you can always move ahead by about a minute to a minute and a half in the as a VOD or video on demand for Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, where you're coming from. That being said, we have a lot to cover today. This is the second live stream today, and I didn't anticipate this. So take a look. What you see is what you get. As per the live stream title, which we'll be covering in segment 4, as usual. Segment 6. No, segment 4. Sorry. It's a lot of backlog. We're trying to get to things that we really want to get done for quite some time, and that's kind of the main highlight of today's second stream. There's some stuff here that I should have scanned almost half a year ago. There's some stuff here that I wanted to get rid of for almost 8 months ago, and so it's kind of that theme. And then there's something I really want to get done in terms of get out of a rut that I've been in for almost a year and plus 1 month, so about 13 months, but really spans 3 decades. So we're going to be touching upon all these things. Take a look on the screen. What you see is what you get. Like expand on the top right hand side. Let's start off with the food here. This is this is a Vietnamese, traditional Vietnamese cuisine. Here we have some sa đe and it's basically in Vietnamese called sic mung. So it's like rice vermicelli, as well as a lot of Vietnamese pork, bean sprouts, and mint leaves. So we're gonna cover all that kind of stuff. At the very top left, you also see some furniture that has a lot to do with the refurbishment of the room. So this is a lot. It symbolizes a lot of stuff that we want to get through, and we're gonna get through it today. So we're gonna talk about exactly how it symbolizes and represents the items that we want to get through for whether it's half a year or 8 months or a year or 3 decades of stuff. Over here in the bottom left hand corner, what we have here is a bunch of stuff from Yuan Health Sciences. So basically a business in cellular research and nutritional supplementation. So you see also here once again some documents that I should have scanned a while ago. We see some philosophy here, which is actually relatively recent, so it's not actually anything that hasn't been here for years. And then there's some planning for where I need to go. I would like to go to see some of my cousins for tomorrow. So that kind of stuff. And so there's some financing and budgeting there. Get rid of that, and last but not least, top left hand corner, expand. You see a whole bunch of scanning from, once again, documents we should have scanned like almost 8 months ago from a business in health sciences and particularly biomolecular nutrition. Okay, let's get rid of this stuff now. Let's begin. So we'll start off with, as usual, the live stream itself. So I'm gonna pull up still reflections here for a second. Dab it to the side. So the audio recordings, we do have audio recordings, so I'm going to show my phone right here because I didn't actually have the unfortunately the screenshot of the voice recordings, but use it as representation of today as well as in a live stream title. So there is a recording for between a small interaction between me and my brother, him talking about something about UFC. It's a little bit funny. He says Jake Paul, or I think he's that YouTuber guy who's notorious for causing trouble or whatever. He's stopped now. Now he's gonna do some sort of boxing type thing or UFC chat. I can't believe that actually. Well, actually I can believe it, but it's interesting, and for him to bring up, because I don't know, if he didn't mention that, I probably wouldn't know. So let's move on to the side. That's a very short conversation. Also today, I also managed to get in touch with my guardian. So once again, the recording here, and there was a more wholesome conversation. Not barely a conversation, just an interaction where we just kind of like did stuff where he made a meal for me, and then I just gave him kind of I just stepped on his back, and that sounds kind of weird. It's like the point is like he always needs a back massage from his wife, so basically my biological mother, and she's not heavy enough. So sometimes I used to do this when I was a kid. I would kind of just jump on his back and stuff like that. But it's kind of like going back around, stuff like that. We haven't, we've really fallen off as I had to address all the narcissistic abuse and domestic violence and stuff like that, and financial ruin and severe chronic disease, all this kind of stuff. But now it's kind of coming and turning around, and as you see in the title, it does say long awaited. So long awaited in the previous live stream today, it says narcissistic climax. So it marks the end of narcissistic abuse, as well as all the effects, lingering effects of it, such as CPTSD. I still have to work through all that, obviously, but at least relationship wise, it's coming to a T in terms of domestic relations. Domestic issues is coming to a wrap up. We're kind of finished with that, so that's great. I couldn't wait for that to be over. Okay, so that being said, that's also what you see in the title. There you also see some things saying C12 and C12 and Forex Class 1. So there's a lot of inventory we need to get through today as well, in the afternoon. And so we're gonna get there. And it says a little bit of CPTSD at the very back, so a little dropping, a little hint there. So let's move on to segment 6 now. So having to do with digital items, particularly education philosophy once again. So life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forwards by Soren Kierkegaard. So this is from Stoic Reflections, as usual. Philosophy having played such a fundamental role in my life, guiding me where I had no guidance at all. So basically, don't live in the past. Although you can learn from the past, is basically how I would interpret this, but you can come up with your own interpretations. And so now move on to some more digital stuff, but this is really just me kind of scouting out some places that we've considered maybe eating, between me and my cousins. So this is Dennison Center and Chef 88 Fine Dining. So Chinese food. One of my cousins, he's really craving this kind of food because it's been a while now. Again, privacy, confidentiality. I'm not gonna reveal who, or no names or mention at all. But basically, it's good to have him back. We haven't seen him in a while, and I kind of done him dirty in a sense. I knew he didn't get along with his brother, but I was going through this CPTSD crap that basically I blurted something really insensitive, unfortunately. And so hopefully I can apologize to him sincerely and kind of make amends and just have a good time and celebrate whatever he's doing, his research and his whatever going on in his life. So that's kind of catch up and yeah, restaurant. So now obviously because of this, we have some the Excel document I got pulled up here having to do with basically we needing to document tomorrow's meal and finances and inventory. So that's right here. Now let's move on to more digital items, but this time we're going to scan all the Usana Health Science documentation here. So particularly from a business perspective, this has a sort of kind of like a mini guide of the products that I have. Usana Celavive, also skincare, Skin Sensei brand, the Sensei suite at the very backdrop. We also have the Nutrimeal, so kind of the own kind of like food. We have a new product line called Active Nutrition, but before this was Nutrimeal. So that was at the time the only sort of food we had. Here's Celaviva as usual. So this is the kind of stuff that has to do with business that I should be learning more about. Of course, this has a lot to do with the guide. You can tell I'm just breezing past this. I don't want to get too much detail into this because I want to say, of course, this should be copyrighted stuff, and so I'm not going to showcase any of this for too long. It should be less than a minute before I run through everything here, because this is not my stuff, or it is in a sense, but it's I'm not particularly keen on showing this to my live streams. There shouldn't be too much overlap. So building healthy lifestyles, how to maintain it, what to do with your product, what to expect, some excess release of yellowing urine due to I believe it's vitamin C or something, that B12, sorry. Also some fitness workout regimes that they've kind of shown here, and again, why Usana at all to begin with. This is the package, the welcome package, the welcome kit, and here's of course a little description of everything as well. Okay, so the package itself, once again, very nice. Their logo, of course, healthiest family. Welcome to the world's healthiest family. So once again, Sensei body here, nourishing shampoo. And once again, all line up all the different products, like from Hepa Plus to Vision X to probiotic and Procosa and so on and so forth. So all that stuff's kind of scanned. I want to do a collage now, quick collage. You can see all the collage right here. We already did thumbnails at the beginning, so here's just a collage. You can see everything here all in one, from the Usana Health Sciences scanned documents to the Malaysian food and so on and so forth. Okay, perfect. So what I'd like to do now is then showcase the food. So photography, right? This is the Malaysian food. So that was long awaited. For 8 months. We gotta scan that welcome kit package as a partner to Usana Health Sciences. So that's done now. And I already talked about the whole CPTSD thing and narcissistic abuse at the beginning. That's lasting for a whole year and beyond for almost 2 decades. So that's done too. Now we also want to talk about Malaysian food here. Again, very reminiscent of the fact that again it's been taking almost a full year to recover for. So this is like some bean sprouts. We call it in the Chinese da. So it's like Vietnamese pork ham. Vietnamese pork ham. We also have rice vermicelli. So rice noodles really. And then there's this kind of spicy sade soup. So it's just like a sade sauce. I don't know how to say it in English, but that's what it is. It's this orange hue. I know it looks very oily and everything like that. It kind of is oily, but anyways, that's okay. It tastes great, and you don't eat every single day. You can see all the meatballs on the inside as well. So that's that's great. And finally, we're moving on. Okay, there's one more I think photograph here. Okay, so what I like to do right now is showcase some inventory here. Okay, so first of all, and here's once again the collage of everything here from the Vietnamese food. So kind of like again the repair of damaged relations between, well, they were already damaged from the very beginning, but managing to fix it finally after 3 decades to about this year's most culminating climax. So now we have some inventory and food and area. So this is region D1. We'll get to it in a section in phase 3. That's going to be in like a minute's time. I want to really highlight this. So you see the 3 crates that I brought in, the 3 boxes I brought in with the do not stack sign. I brought in from a workplace. There's a class 4 item, class 1 as well, because I do work for the workplace, so it's kind of free. It's just garbage. And then region D1 is the one that has all the food on top, the Oreos and shit, that little crate on the side. That crate over there, that crate on this right hand side should be getting rid of because it's not my stuff, it's actually my brother's. He needs to move out the room, so I'm going to sweep it out in maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm going to clean up this room entirely. A long awaited cleanup of the room for almost like a year and a half. I gotta get rid of it, and then I'm gonna use that lower box, and we'll show in person later on stream, but I'm gonna switch it out for that instead. As well as if we can't, we're gonna try to donate the clothing as I think I'm deciding to stay with the workplace, the current company I'm at, as I am on vacation. So the week after next week, I'm gonna see if I can repair some relations, and then hopefully eventually be able to donate some clothing away as well that I don't need here. So that's that. And finally, the last piece of the puzzle in terms of class 2 items. So this photography here. You can see once again the groceries I purchased yesterday for me as well as my guardians, the 70% and 70% Lindt Excellence dark chocolate, smooth and just regular smooth chocolate from Lindor, so Switzerland chocolate, dark chocolate, passed over to my domestic guardians, my biological mother, as well as the green package at the very back, you can barely see it, is walnuts. So raw walnuts, but passed on once again to my guardians. Now you also see the bottles of drinks, as well as the Grand Slam mix of dark chocolate, raisins and stuff like that, and nuts, pecans, as well as the ground ginger. That stuff for me to keep. So we're gonna move on to that right now. After this last segment, we have 45 seconds left. So I just want to mention very briefly, like I said, in terms of inventory, it's going to be down here. Inventory, we kept track of all the new food, the sade, the Vietnamese food, noodle soup, as well as generally speaking the tomorrow's interaction with my cousins. So we've dropped down here to phase 3 now, and fitness is usually kind of shit right now. What we're going to do is try to say in the last 30 seconds very quickly. So you see everything here, the chocolate's gone, the walnut's gone, given away. So I need to move this ground ginger downstairs. The 2 drinks over there, one's trash, one should move up here, of course, and then to region A7. Over here on the table we gotta get rid of the receipt, gotta put the cash away from my colleagues, and then I gotta toss all this garbage, all these clip of the cards into the bag here over there and toss out to the trash. So finally, oh wow, we don't have enough time. It's always like this. It's driving me nuts. All right, we'll continue tomorrow morning.